difference between roaming alone and roaming with a group. No matter how skillful you are, you will need to change your utility skills and probably weapons along with some traits when you are roaming alone or when you are roaming with a group. I will give a small example for that with the Elementalist. An Ellie is best to have a dagger when it's roaming alone, and it uses also some utility skills and some traits. But when you are with a group, if you have a dagger, you will basically not be doing any kind of support to the group. So you will need to have your staff, and that is the difference between roaming alone and roaming with a group, because an LD with a staff has the ability to do so much help to the group with the fields they can provide. If we have an LA with a staff, I want you to please go ahead and put down a fire field right now. Okay? When an LA puts down a fire field, anyone can blast. And what I mean by blast is this. If you take a look at this skill, you will find something called combo finisher, and beside it there is a blast. And that means if there is a field or if there's something on the ground and you use a skill that will provide blast, you will have a certain effect. So now if you blast this fire field, you will have something called area might. What this area might will do is provide might to the group around it. If you took a look at your bar now, you will find some might stacks around you, and that is basically only from blasting those fire fields. Now I want Ellie please to use static field. Okay, and now we will do the same, and we will go ahead and blast. Now when we blast a static field, you will find that you have a swiftness, which of course is very important when we are moving to reach our goal faster than moving without swiftness. Lastly are the water fields. Water fields from Ellie are the skill of 3 and 5. What they do is there's a water field, if you blast it, they will heal you. Okay, you will find something called area healing. So this is also very important when we are doing a group fight. This is just a small example of the difference between an Ellie roaming alone and an Ellie roaming with a group. An Ellie roaming alone with a staff is like suiciding. But if you are running with a group with a staff, you are the best option for us. Okay, so again, there is a difference between roaming alone and roaming with a group. It depends on what class are you and what prefers you prefer, like what utility skills and stuff like that. But I will not go in depth right now about those stuff. I will just try to mention basics. So, very important thing also you will need to know is wherever you are moving, you are supposed to be stacked together all the time. So if you see a commander, if you are following a commander and running with him, you will need to be stacked on this commander. So I will go ahead and put my tag up right now, and I will move, and I will need you to stack on me, please. Okay, stack right here on me. When I say stack, I need you all to stay in the same spot I am staying on. Don't go ahead, don't go back. Basically, stay on the same spot I am now. And what else? Try to go to TeamSpeak when you are with a group so that you listen to whatever the commander wants you to do, because not all the commanders are able to type what they want in the map chat. Usually they just are exclusive to TeamSpeak. But there are other commanders like myself that try to do their best to use both TeamSpeak and map chat.
That feels good.
No, I'm not done yet. But I will remember what you will want to say.
Eat my dust.
Yeah, but even if you try to write and talk at the same time during a fight, it's almost impossible to give orders or to ask for water bombs or might stacking if you're not on TS. So even if you cannot speak, try to be there to listen. and to know what to do. Sorry.
No problem. So now that we are stacked, I will. Stacking is very, very important, and you must know that under any circumstance you are not to stay away from the Zerg. If you are following a commander and his group, you are not supposed to leave the group for whatever reason. If you see an enemy, don't split away from the Zerg to chase, because you are doing two things. First of all, you are decreasing our number, and when we have more number, we are stronger. And the second thing is that enemy that you are chasing is maybe pulling you away to his mates and friends, so that it's not one-on-one, but it's 3 or 4-on-1, and they will kill you instantly. Okay. What else? Yeah, you will do the same with Siege. When you are with a group and you are not running alone, please don't go ahead and put down Siege. Wait for the commander to tell you what he needs from you, and then you can go ahead and push. Personally, when I'm roaming, I always ask whoever is following, please let me handle Siege. And that is for the simple fact, for that I can know as a commander how many supplies do we have, and I can manage supplies opponent. What else should we go through? Yes, when we are asking for a field, like for example, if I ask an elite to put down a static field, don't try to put down any other field, because you may actually prevent us from having the buff we want. Like for example, if you are a guardian and you want to move with swiftness, and you put down your symbol of swiftness, while we are asking an elite to put down a static field, when we are blasting, we are not going to blast the water, the static field, and we will not get swiftness. Instead, we will blast your field and we will get retaliation, which is not the buff we need when we are moving. So please pay attention to what we ask from you. Don't try to do something on your own. Try to listen to your commander, try to listen to your group, and try to be as organized as you can. And also, always remember, please don't split away from the group for whatever reason. Okay? There are certain stuff that you need to have on your class. Like for example, if you are an elite, having a staff is very important. If you are a mesmer, having a veil, time warp, and no field is very important as well. The reason for that is if we are encountering a group of enemies and you put down a veil in front of us, it will stealth the group for 1 or 2 seconds, and then you will get the element of surprise and the upper hand when you are actually going towards the enemies and fighting them. I will not go in depth for group fighting stuff because we did it yesterday, and I don't want to spend much time overwhelming you guys with information, because we are almost close to the reset. So now we will need to speak briefly about siege placement. Now I will need you to go ahead and go back to our home board name. Go to this waypoint, please. Citadel waypoint, and let's go back to home and speak about siege placement briefly.
Can I interrupt for group fighting?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot. Yes, you can go ahead and tell us what you wanted. Sorry, I forgot.
All good. Group fighting, two different things, seems like basics, but there's always a backline and a front line. Front line usually consists of melee users, so warriors, guardians, depending on what weapons they're running. Backline is usually squishier, hopefully. Necromancers, elementalists, rangers. The backline usually does the brunt of the damage, the front line is usually tankier, so when a commander gives the order to push into their backline is usually what he means. So that way you can wipe most of their DPS out, and then turn around and focus out the front line.
Do you need to add anything else?
Outside of that, keeping our backline peeled for is also very important, so even though you might not be doing damage or you might not be healing, being disruptive is also really important. So for Guardians, running something like a shield on your offhand so you can interrupt people and knock them away, lines of warding, anything like that will keep them off of our guys or disrupt their backline from doing any more damage to us.
Okay, well, thank you for the information. Do you need to ask about anything else? Do you need to add anything else?
We lost a couple too many people from the updates to start forming hammer trains or mesmer bomb squads, so that's about it. Unless we want to get into that.
Do we
No,
have
I
any
actually-
engineers in here?
Yep.
Okay, well, I basically didn't want to go in depth for the group fight because we did it yesterday. And
Alright.
so, and besides, I believe we have more than 5 new players here with us, and I don't want to overwhelm them with information. Last thing I will just say, because Eddie asked me to do it. Your name is Eddie, right? Oh, okay, no problem. If you are a thief and we are asking for a stealth, please don't do Chateau Refugee, because when you do Chateau Refugee, you are only enabling 5 people, and the rest of the group will not get stealth. So, but the mesmer with a veil is unlimited. If a mesmer put a veil in front of us and you pass across, there is no limit for using the veil. And that is why when we are asking for veil, please thieves don't use Chateau Refugee. Okay? And now please, if you are here with me and you want to see the siege placement, let's go ahead and regroup here. I will put my tag out so that you know where I am. And let's speak about both offensive and defensive siege. We will speak about 1 tower and 1 keep, and that will be it for today. And we will try to do this later on Wednesday and continue our details. Again, I try to do this as simply as I can. I try not to overwhelm you with information. If you already feel so, I apologize, but I just want to give you as much information as we can before the week. And now let's get ready to move in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Fast as the wind.
Are you by chance recording any of this?
We are supposed to be.
Eat my
Because if you're recording this, I think it would, like, even if you sat down and wrote a script, you could make a fantastic tutorial video.
Well, yes, Jack is recording it. Thank you, Jack. I try to coordinate this before we start so that we are recording it and post it to the forum so that whoever missed this and wanted to watch the video has the ability to do so.
Are you
Oh.
using a script, or is this all offhand?
No, this is all offhand. I just have the main point in my head, and the
Well, you-
details is just instantly. Am I doing a bad job? Is it that bad?
No, you're doing a good job. I can't speak in front of this many. Well, I can't really speak at all.
Okay. Now we will speak first about defensive siege. Okay. So now, let's assume that this situation, we have a situation and we have enemies attacking the
Eat my
town.
dust.
First of all, let's go ahead and please, whatever siege I will put, don't build. Okay. I will put an AC right here. Okay. Don't build. Again, please don't build. Leave it. Don't build, please. Don't build. And I want you to go down. Leave the tower and go down. Jump with me down, and I want you to go ahead and take a look up. You will see that this Aragoorn is very, very, very obvious and open to you, that you can just hit it with any skill you have. So, this is a wrong placement for an arrow. This is a bad one. Now let's go back to inside the tower.
Swift and steady.
Time to do some real
Sorry to keep you jumping on and off from the tower, but I just want to explain to you why this is a bad place. Now you know that this Aragoorn was very open, and that is why it was bad. So, what you should try to do is put it inside of a wall. Like, for example, you have an inner ledge, this one, and you have another ledge, this one right here. So if you put an arrow cart right here, this one will be much harder to hit than this one. Enemies will only few enemies will be able to hit this one rather than this one. Okay, now a third position for an arrow cart is right here. Now, what is the difference between this arrow cart and this arrow cart? There is only one difference, and that is this small wall in front of us. If you took a look here, there is no wall to prevent some AoEs, but this small wall will actually prevent some damage going into the arrow cart. And that is why always when you are put an arrow cart, try to put it in a place where there is a small wall to protect as many AoEs as it can. Also, another place for an arrow cart is on this bridge. For example, if we have enemies hitting the door and you want to take down the rams, you can put down some arrow carts right here on this bridge. Okay, again, please don't build any siege I'm putting down. This is just purely for tutorial. You can put an arrow cart right here, and this arrow cart will be able to reach outside the gate. Another place will be right here. It works the same way as for the one on the bridge. This one will also be able to hit outside the gate. Now I'm speaking mainly about arrow carts because when you are defending, it's very important to have arrow carts. Okay. Arrow carts can do very good damage to enemies, especially if you have the arrow cart mastery. Ballistas as well can work, but ballistas need a target. Arrow carts don't. Arrow carts don't need a line of sight. You can just target any point and you don't have to actually see it, and the arrow cart will be able to hit it, while a ballista needs a line of sight and needs a target.
That feels good.
What else you should be knowing? You should know that a trip can do insane amount of damage to rams and golems. So let's assume that we have golems attacking this gate. Okay. This is not basically information for the beginners. This is for the more advanced stuff. So if you are a beginner and you don't understand, it's very okay because you haven't seen this situation before. As I was saying, if you put down a trap right here, this trap will be able to hit the gate. And if you have rams, it will destroy it. If there are golems, alpha golems, it will go ahead and destroy them as well. What else? Oh, yeah, that is basically when you are trying to defend outside. Now, what if outside is a lost cause? What if you know that outside is going down? Now you should be thinking about seizing the inner. You can form something called a kill zone, or a kill box, or a hitbox. What you can do with this hitbox is, for example, if you put ballistas inside this tower, let's go ahead and put down 3 ballistas right here. Okay, we reached the cap, so we can't put down any more siege, but just basically speaking, you can put a ballista right here, and a ballista in the middle, and one on the right. Also, there is something new I actually have learned from a previous enemies, and they tried it on us, and I don't think we ever tried it before. Actually, this time I will need you to build with me. This is a cool trick I learned from before. Let's go ahead and build this ram. Build it with me, please. Now I want you to leave.
I could
Okay,
outrun a
leave.
centaur.
Leave the tower. Now let's assume that we are the ones attacking. Okay. And let's go ahead and try let's see if this gate is down.
Go ahead. Hit me.
And now let's go ahead inside again. And we want to go, let's assume that this gate and the tower is on the other side and we want to go inside. Now try to walk through the ramp. Okay, because this is your ramp, you will be able to do so. But if you are an enemy, you will not be able to go through this ramp. Of course, enemies can put it down quickly, but the 1 or 2 seconds that it will buy you time to get them across. If you have ballistas and arrow cards ready, you will actually be able to wipe them all before they are even able to go up. So again, if you are an enemy and you are trying to cross this ramp, you will not be able to do so. So what you will need to do is take this ramp first. It will take you about 1 or 2 seconds if you have a decent number. But those seconds are very important if you have other siege inside ready, like an arrow cart or a ballista that will take down as much as it can, and instead of having 30 attacking the tower, you will end up with 10 staying alive and you will be able to handle them. So this is a very good thing you can do. So arrow carts, ballistas are basically used for defensive. Rams, katas, traps and golems are used for offensive. I also don't want to go in depth about each placement for each of the positions, but next Wednesday, what I will try to do is make this whole meeting only for siege. We will go through each and every tower and each and every keep, and we will go ahead and place siege together. But when it comes to this week, I just wanted to make it as simple as we can, so that I don't overwhelm you guys with information. If you felt already overwhelmed, I apologize for it, but I just wanted you to get as many information as you can. So again, if you are new to World vs. World player and you didn't feel that you got enough information to start with, you can go ahead and ask me at any time, and I will try to go ahead and reply and answer all the questions that you have. You can also just ask anyone that you know does World vs. World usually, and I'm pretty sure you will get the help that you need. Usually we are a very friendly community and we help as much as we can. If we didn't do so, that we are probably just busy doing something else. I know that also we have not that friendly commanders sometimes, but most of us are really patient and will not rage at you or just call you something. We will just be patient and try to be as informative as we can. So remember that we will have our next meeting on next Wednesday. We will mainly discuss more about siege, and if we have any other questions regarding what we said today, I will go ahead and answer it. Okay? So, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for your patience and thank you for listening to me. And I hope you guys got information that you can use. If you didn't get the information you expect, I apologize. But I will try to get more in depth on Wednesday, because this meeting was not planned for. This was on the go, and we only decided to have it yesterday. So I didn't get much time to advertise for it or to have that much information for it, and also because we have the reset time, so I didn't want to make you tired or bored before we are ready to go for the reset. So again, thank you for your time, thank you for staying with us, and hopefully you will be with us next Wednesday when we are actually speaking more in depth about group fights and siege placement.
Hey, can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah, sure.
For
Go ahead.
anybody new joining us tonight, don't forget, right before we start, you need to go up to the North Camp on home borderland. Somebody will announce that they have it claimed, and grab your 15 supply. We like everybody to start their raid with 15 supply on them.
Excellent. Okay, let's go ahead and do that indeed. If you don't know what is the North Camp, go to this waypoint. What I will link in map chat, and go take your 15 supplies.
Most of the guilds at reset night on Fridays, they usually run on their own, so you won't find that many people in the normal tabs, World v World tabs. So if you really want to join with another guild, I guess you're free to do it, and no one will stop you. But try to listen to what the commander is asking of you, and if you have doubts, try to ask when we're not fighting. So I guess that's it.
Okay, thank you, Rick.
I guess it was a good guide, I guess, introduction.
Well, again, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for your patience and thank you for your time. And we will have another meeting on next Wednesday.
All right.
Thank you for presenting.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Mind if I say something real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
To those of you that are new joining us that might be having problems getting geared up or changing your gear, I have a bit of surprise for you. All those in this channel that are new, or maybe not even new, I am willing to give each of you a gold and or help equip you. So my name in game is Rude Boy Space Jack. That's my main, and I am willing to help you get equipped. So yeah, there's no reason for you guys to be running around with blues. I want to at least have you guys running around in masterworked
Oh,
or
Rude,
rares.
that's awesome of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is very, very nice from you.
No problem.
I'm kidding.
Cool Crusader, was that you?
No,
Oh,
that,
I need-
that
I need
was
a legendary.
Flux. I'm being a jerk. I don't.
Can you
don't
give it
mind
to me?
Huh?
I need a legendary. I'm missing a legendary. I have a blue.
Now you will
Can't
get.
equip you with a legendary, but
He's gonna slap you in the mouth for that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Uh,
Well,
where
thank
are
you
you
for
guys
thank
at
you
right
so much
now?
for the offer. So I missed your question. What you